teams called you? I mean, you must have felt the second round. That's probably your second or third round. You must have talked with, what, a dozen teams as late as the last couple of days?
I never, to tell you the truth, the phone never rang from one team yesterday. Never rang in 11 and a half hours.
Chad Melkiper, during the combine, Chad, was there any problem at all with the shoulder that was, speculated to be a problem during the throwing drills?
They were just, you have one doctor represent 6 teams, and you have 5 stations, and they're supposed to do the examination on you, and then let's give a report to the rest of them. Well, they had all 6 doctors coming up at each station, tugging on my arm, and it took its toll. They were trying to pop it out of socket. When I went out there and warmed up, it started hurting right away, but, I'm not, I like to compete, and I just went out there and tried to do my best. A lot of the balls got away from me, but, I don't think I did that bad.
Well, as we were talking off the air before we went on, as Joe told you, it's not where you go in, it's where you go out. And you have an opportunity to play with the Vikings. And I know you're disappointed right now, but this too shall pass. Good luck in the National Football League. There are a lot of folks that think you'll be a real productive player for a long time. Try and enjoy this.
Thank you.
Because we'll enjoy watching you play. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, Chad May with us on the phone. 4th round pick of the Vikes. We'll be back.
True Value salutes Junior Seau for his kindness, his generosity, his compassion, and his helpfulness. Off the field. For all you've done, you're the True Value Hardware NFL Man of the Year, awarded to the most outstanding citizen athlete. Congratulations, Junior. You've been a big help.
Due to technical difficulties, we're unable to show you the picture on the new Toshiba FST Perfect. The problem is your set. Unlike the FST Perfect, the world's flattest 35-inch picture tube, your screen is more curved, causing distortion and annoying reflections. We will try to correct this problem by asking you to get rid of your set immediately and buy the FST Perfect. Thank you.
Have you had your break today? We all need to get away. There's one place that's on your way. McDonald's is your break today. Have you had your break today? Easy does it McDonald's way. Taste the place of smiling face. Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. Have you had your break today?
And to this reporter, it's obvious that these strike negotiations are going nowhere fast.
Well, I've had just about enough. Let's go.
Excuse me.
Love the shoes.
What were we thinking? After you. No, after you.
Life is good.
When you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good.
Our work here is done.
Play ball.
We are back. We had Chris Meyer shortly, a short time ago with the head coach of the Cowboys, Barry Switzer. What else is happening down in Big D, Chris?
Well, Chris, earlier today, Emmitt Smith dropped by, familiar number 22 of the Cowboys, who touched the ball an estimated 330 times last season, aside from rushing, caught 50 passes. Reason why that Sherman Williams was the top Cowboys pick, the running back out of Alabama. When Emmitt arrived here this morning, and he's already flown out of town, Jerry Jones showing the Cowboy running back the board and who was selected and how he figures in the plans. Emmitt did talk with Sherman Williams. They said, hi, good luck, work hard. By the way, Kansas City was on the phone with Sherman Williams, telling him they were going to select him when the Cowboys got through and made him their choice. Sherman also told us no contract specifics have been worked out as of yet. Let's go back to New York now, Chris Berman.
All right, Chris, thank you. Now, we've missed a few picks, but one name that people certainly knew because he played for Miami was a running back, the other James Stewart. James Stewart, the running back at Miami, big guy, now goes to Miami. So, to Minnesota, excuse me. Mr. Stewart goes to Minnesota. I mean, it's not great on camera. You're not going to work on my Jimmy Stewart imitation. Now, the fact that he fell this far, is this a surprise, Mel, to you?
Well, it's probably my fault, Chris, that he dropped. You know?
Right.
You know?
Everything else is your fault.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. The world's problems are my fault. But as far as, James Stewart from Miami, when you look at his physical abilities, 245 pounds, he can, not just run over people. I think he can run around them. I know Craig James and I have a debate going on James Stewart, but I think he's a pretty good back. He tries to overpower you, and he can because he's 245 pounds. He can catch the football, has some maneuverability in the open field, as you see here. So he's not just a between-the-tackles type. Catching the football will accentuate his ability in the NFL since he can be utilized with Warren Moon coming out of the backfield. So I think he'll fit in pretty well with a Minnesota team that certainly can use another back to throw in with the Robert Smiths and the Scotty Grahams.
All right, so Stewart, his namesake went a lot higher, the running back from Tennessee, but now we finally found a home in Minnesota. So a couple interesting picks last couple by the Minnesota Vikings. Chad May, who you heard from. We'll be back with more action here in the 5th round when we return to the Paramount Theater right after this.
Are you a jock? Do you like to rock? ESPN presents Jock Rock, the greatest crowd rockin' sports anthems of all time on one CD. You can't get any closer to the action without getting hurt. It's not for fans, it's for fanatics. Jock Rock at record stores everywhere.
To get a complete aerobic and muscle-building workout, you could run and lift weights and cycle and climb stairs and lift weights and cycle and lift weights and climb stairs and cycle. Or you could just lay back and relax. Introducing the Soloflex Rocket, a total fitness machine that gives you an aerobic workout and builds muscle at the same time. And you can own it for less than you'd imagine. Call now for a free video and brochure.
Who will steal the wind and rule the sea? The challenge has stood for over 140 years. Who will be the defender? Who will rise to the challenge? The America's Cup Defender Finals on ESPN.
Welcome back to New York. Of course, we've been embroiled this weekend in the NFL draft, but boy, does it pale, everything really pales in comparison to what happened in Oklahoma City this week. And you even heard Kajana Carter mention it yesterday in his great moment of elation, that his thoughts and prayers, along with all of ours, were to the families and friends of those involved with the tragedy in Oklahoma City. Today, President Clinton, of course, declared that today would be a national day of mourning. Let's go to the podium for a moment with Jim Steig of the league.
In accordance with President Clinton's request and in remembrance of a national day of mourning, we would like to have a moment of silence to mourn the individuals who died and pray for the survivors and families of the deceased in the tragedy in Oklahoma City.
Here's the coolest thing you can do when you're hot. Drink Ruby Red Squirt. Citrus, berry, blast. You really want a cellular phone, but you're afraid of the service plans, activations, the true cost. So you go back and forth again. Don't do that. Come into Radio Shack. We'll patiently explain everything you need to know about going cellular. And we can even sign you up. You'll see that not only are cellular phones nothing to be afraid of, they're actually quite friendly. Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
This NHL season, it's all crunch time. So when they ice it, hook it, save it.